So this is episode 2 of season 1 of Suburban Bourbon, and today we are at Front Street Social in Berea, Ohio.
We're going to test out some of their famous cocktails today, learning about their extensive bourbon collection, and
it's a big one.
Just seeing all that Front Street Social has.
And we're going to learn a little bit more about the bar. Certainly this has been here for a few years, I believe, and we're going to also meet and spend some time with Ari Knox, who is the bar manager here at Front Street Social. She's going to make us some drinks, some of her favorites, and we're going to talk about the bourbons that she uses, how she makes them, and then we'll have some other conversations, I think, towards the end about her big bourbon collection.
Yeah, sounds good.
So why don't we kick things off? So Ari, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I come from Tremont, so it's been sort of a circus up there and then a little bit more calm down here. So kind of bringing some fun things to the bar that I've kind of witnessed in Cleveland. I'm impressed with the bourbon selection we do have here. I started in February and looking to make things, the wheels turn here, if you will. So.
How long have you been bartending?
Since I was 21. Yeah, nine years. Yeah, the big 3-0. So good 9 years, but it's like riding a bike. You can always do it, so I love it.
One of the things about Front Street Social that really sets it apart is the live music,
Yes.
entertainment. So can you talk about
Absolutely. Without a doubt, hands down, the stage brings everyone in here. Opening during COVID was kind of a scary thing. We opened in September, so smack dab heart of COVID, but with that stage, it definitely brought open mic nights. People didn't see live music for the longest times, and we always have it on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, open mic night on Wednesday, stand-up comedy.
You have stand-up comedy too.
We do. Yeah, it's probably like 5 different locals that come around, and they kind of go up there for like a 5-minute spiel, so.
you also have karaoke?
We do have karaoke, yes. How could I forget that?
What is the song that you're
Oh, I don't sing. If I sing, no one's gonna come in here. Check, please. I'll sing behind the bar, but with a microphone in my hand, it's just not too good.
Tell us a little bit about Front Street Social. What
Kind of vibes, kind of people.
yeah, well, what's the clientele here?
It's all ages. We're right on Baldwin Wallace's campus, but that doesn't just mean it's college kids. We don't have a college night or anything like that. It's just mixed crowd. I mean, it's local watering hole. People come up. There's a ton of regulars, Berea natives. And then, obviously, on the weekends, people come out for the live music, and so it's just all ages. Sometimes you get some jazz lovers, sometimes you get the death metal, or just people that like covers or originals. So it's literally all kinds of ages and
What about the menu? Because we've been here for a number of happy hours and dinners, and we've had outstanding meals here.
They're rather new, but like smoked wings are just amazing here. People always know it's always Wednesdays when we're smoking them downstairs. Smells like a chimney in here, but it's so good. Choose your sauce. What else? I'd say our burgers, they come up with some pretty interesting combinations that stack up pretty nice to a good burger. And then, I don't know, our Brussels sprouts are pretty, like a staple menu. Yeah, they'll never leave.
I think the cool thing to keep in mind too, like you mentioned it, I mean, it is, so for folks who don't know where this is, it's right in downtown Berea, and if I look out the window and went 1 block, you're on the Baldwin Wallace campus.
Oh, yeah.
So I think people would think that this is a college bar. It really isn't a college bar. We've been here several times. It's, I wouldn't say it's an older crowd necessarily, but it's, I think, a mix of everything.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. It really depends on the music that you're, have that night and who you're bringing in.
Absolutely.
That sort of thing.
And it definitely, the energy that the live music and obviously the staff here brings, it's a special place.
Absolutely. Being on Baldwin Wallace campus, we have a lot of the students that are in like the music and the theater, and just their talent alone. If it's karaoke night, they'll leave the bar for a quick 2-minute song, and everyone will know who they are and come in and see them and chat it up with them. Or if it's, I don't know, just it's so much talent here behind the bar too. So yeah, it makes me a proud mom.
Awesome. Well, and you guys have a fantastic spirit selection.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll learn a lot about those today, but we're Suburban Bourbon, so we're very interested in bourbon in particular. And we thought we would let you show us some of the drinks that you make, that you like to make. And actually, before we get into this, let me ask you this. This is something I think we talked about at our last episode. What do you What do you see when people go to whiskey or bourbon? What are they most often in terms of the liquor? Not necessarily to drink.
As far as the liquor goes, as far as what brands, well, we have too much to choose from, and people are kind of intimidated by it. I like to take something like on like our normal shelves here, like a Maker's Mark, and then recommend maybe like a little step above. So with one of our cocktails, it's not Maker's Mark, it's our Slow and Low. And I've had so many people come in here and they're like, well, what's that? Like, is that okay in like a old fashioned or a Manhattan? I'm like, you can put it in anything. It's not a bite, it's more on the sweeter side. It's just middle of the road, but something you don't normally see. So that's what's in our first cocktail, is the O'Collins. It's gonna be the Slow and Low. It has our ginger beer with it, so it's more of like a lighter refreshing. People are scared of bourbons, and so I think this is like an easy drinking one, and that's why we like having it on the menu versus scary like neat or even just like your basic old fashioned.
I think this one has bullet today.
Bullet rye, yes. Your guys' favorite. I'm so sorry. Yes.
I don't know if it's our favorite, but we love it.
Yeah.
So,
hey, you ordered it last week.
Exactly.
So what's your most popular non-bourbon alcohol at this bar?
Oh. Vodka for sure. I even have some college kids just come get like some straight vodka shots. I'm like, what's going on?
Those are 21 and over.
Yes. Yes. Of course. A lot of out-of-staters. It's kind of overwhelming. No, definitely vodka drinkers. More on the sweeter side, toes in the sand kind of drinks.
And which one do they choose?
They like the Knocks Out or they like the Violet Vixen. Both of those are just more on the sweeter side. We have like a prickly pear vodka. It's like candy in a glass. So some different things than just like your basic Tito's. Yeah.
What about your top-end bourbons? Because obviously, like we said, you have an extensive selection. What are a couple that people are kind of surprised you have and excited to
They're
try?
definitely surprised that we have Blanton's, that we have Eagle Rare for sure. E.H. Taylor is also one of the ones that are up there. Anything on the top shelf makes you feel important. They're like, wow, you guys have this. So I don't even know that many bars that actually have like a good selection like we do. So I'm pretty impressed, and it brings people back because we're in Berea. We're not in Cleveland, so yeah.
It's awesome. So we're going to go through some of the drinks that Ari prepared for us, and then you want to kick things off, Joe? Pick one to start with?
All right, to start with, I think one of your signature drinks, the O'Collins.
The O'Collins.
Why don't you talk to us about what's in the O'Collins?
Absolutely. In the O'Collins, we have Bullet Rye Bourbon. We have ginger beer with it with some orange bitters. It's a build-in-the-glass cocktail, so it doesn't require any shaking. Fast, simple, easy drinking.
Is the ginger beer non-alcoholic? Or
It is non-alcoholic. And it's not as spicy. I know that there's like Fever Tree out there or Goslings. This is just a middle of the road. I know some people don't even like ginger beer, but turned a lot of people on, especially with it being on our cocktail menu.
And from a bitters perspective, how much do you put in?
Good 2 or 3 shakes. Just get a little, that is that one, yeah. A little orange instead of like your basic bitters.
That's really good.
Right?
It is. That's summertime in a glass.
And what is this again? This is a...
Bullet Rye. It's our O'Collins. It's like a spin
The
on...
O'Collins.
Yeah.
A spin on Tom Collins.
Yes. Not Tom Collins. Like a... not like a whiskey sour too much, but... How about this? More like a Moscow Mule, but with bourbon.
It's a great summer drink.
Yeah, it's a nice entry-level drink if people are scared of bourbons, and I'm like, let's just do something nice, light, and easy drinking, and let's not be afraid of bourbon.
You taste the ginger in it, but it's not overwhelming. It's like you're not tasting just ginger. Just when you think you have a lot of ginger, then you can taste the bourbon.
I agree. That's a very well-balanced drink.
We like to have about 2 ounces of booze in our cocktails, just so it's enough, but not over serving them in one drink. So they'll want another one.
The Bullet Rye
That's
that you
the Bullet
use,
Rye, yep.
Perfect. That's I think one of our favorites. I mean, I like that for a old fashioned. I like it for a Manhattan. I think it's just a good mixer. It's a high enough bourbon, but it's a good mixer bourbon.
Exactly, and it really pairs well with a lot of different drinks. So
I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it. Thank you.
We don't normally drink the entire drink on this show, but I kind of want to keep this over
I know
the side.
exactly. I'm going to keep this close.
Okay, so the next drink we're going to have is what, Joe?
All right. Actually, we're going to ask you which.
Yeah, our next pick.
The next drink is going to be our proper. It is a spin on a whiskey sour. I made it with Chattanooga whiskey, just like another step above your basics. This is made with egg whites. This kind of scares some people, but that's how you get the froth on top. It should be like a good inch of, froth.
May I see the bottle? So this is the Chattanooga whiskey. Have you had this before?
I have had it. That's a solid choice.
So this is a Tennessee bourbon. Chattanooga. Nice. Very nice.
I get myself in trouble.
So should we give it a try?
I think we need. I think we absolutely have to. It is. I don't think I've had. I don't drink whiskey sours often, so this is a different
spin on it.
Yeah. This is really.
It's only about 0.75 ounces of the egg whites because I don't want to, turn you off of egg whites, but
it's a unique taste. I've not. Yeah.
Exactly. I like the sour, but it's not overwhelming.
No.
Like too much sour would be.
Sure.
In the frothiness of the egg whites it adds some extra texture to it that I'm not used to.
I didn't think I'd like the egg white part of it, but it actually,
actually
has a nice taste to it.
I wasn't sure either, but this is a really good drink.
Thank you. That's kind of something like you would see at like a speakeasy bar. It just requires more of like a show, not like a flair, but just extra attention on shaking the glass to create that. So it's fun.
Like a cocktail.
Where did you learn to make that?
It's actually one of JC's recipes. I was kind of scared with using egg whites. I've never done anything pretty extensive. I've worked at town hall before, but it was never, you didn't have time to shake for 5 minutes. There it's 30 seconds or less. So I can't steal that away from him, take any credit for it, but that's totally his.
How popular is that drink?
People are scared of it. It's not too popular. It's more of a, it's more of like a sit back, kind of chill sipper drink, and I don't think the younger crowd really understands that too much.
You're not getting drunk off of it.
Correct.
Just something you're
there's
enjoy.
no ice on it. If there's no ice in it, it just means sip.
Yeah.
I would also say that it's one that I can understand why people would be a little like hesitant. But once you try it, that's one I would go back to.
Yeah.
That's good.
We said on our other show that it's kind of fun. I mean, especially with bourbon, all the different sort of drinks that are coming out, especially older drinks that have sort of been resurrected.
Sure.
I referenced that I love that Sazerac now.
Absolutely.
Sazerac is so good if you have the absinthe, to put in there. It's a good drink, and it's so simple. I think it only fills half the glass without ice.
Sure.
But I don't know. It's kind of cool.
I like the Chattanooga whiskey in there too.
Yeah.
That was very smooth.
Very nice.
Awesome. I guess we can jump to it. I have our slow and low, which is going to be more of like our house, and I made an old fashioned with it. So we have orange bitters in there, a 2-ounce pour, a little bit of simple syrup, and I stir my old fashions along with my Manhattans. I'm not trying to, mess it up any or insult the bourbon. So
Can you talk about slow and low? I mean, that's a brand that is not common.
It's not common. Most people don't know what it is. Like I said, it's more of like a upscale maker's mark. It's more on the sweeter side. Just one of those ones, step above, and I have people coming in for my slow and low Manhattans all the time now, especially with the Luxardo cherries. Yes. When I first started working, they had their maraschino cherries, and I was like, that's gotta stop.
You gotta get rid of those.
Yeah, never again. I don't want to see those.
You need to use Luxardo cherries in your old fashioned.
Old fashioned Manhattans.
We do not get paid for this, but trust me, this is the stuff.
I was telling Ari a story that the place will remain nameless, but I did have an old fashioned that was pink, and it was because they took the maraschino cherry juice and put it in the old fashioned. It was absolutely awful, and I do. I was saying to Ari before we got started that I do that. It actually makes it a little darker. I'll put some of the simple syrup, some of the cherry syrup in there, sweeten it up a little bit.
Absolutely.
I like that.
So it's a heavy price point on those Luxardo cherries, but
I know my boss wasn't too happy with me, but it makes people happy and come back, especially for with the bourbons that we do have, and if they want a fancy drink. It is. Yes. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Check it out.
This is slow and low.
show the audience.
So this is a street rye whiskey, raw honey, navel orange, raw candy, and bitters. Okay. Hence the sweetness.
Yes.
This is a.
And you
It's
said you
like a
chose.
hidden gem maker's mark.
And you chose orange bitters to add to it.
Yes, I don't have orange peel here. I don't want to junk up the glass and make it look like a sangria, so I just use orange bitters instead.
Well, I tell you what, it was interesting. Right after COVID sort of let up, and they had loosened some of the restrictions, and more people in bars and restaurants.
Yeah.
This is one of the first places we came, and which is why we wanted to do the show here. And
Awesome.
I remember us thinking, like, I think you were working that night too, and I think the thing that made us like the place is it was some semblance of normalcy again.
Okay.
There was music going on, everyone's sort of hanging out. I felt like it was, either before COVID or way after COVID, right?
Nice break.
Yeah, and the staff was very, very friendly. And to your point, it was a pretty diverse crowd of like younger and older people, and everyone just enjoying music.
And I know, and JC introduced us to Clover, which I thought was pretty cool. Heard that we were bourbon fans, and I think that what I think is special about this place is the personal touch that you guys provide to,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
all the people that come here. So,
Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
well, I think we have one more.
Of course,
So,
how could we forget?
yeah, exactly. So, what is your favorite bourbon?
Jefferson's Ocean. JC, yes. JC turned me on to it. It is hard to find. It runs probably about $75 a bottle. We went on like a little bourbon hunt the other day. We had to go to 5 places to find one. There was 2 left, and we like footballed those things out of there. Like we love it that much. He turned me on to it right when I started. 'Cause like I said, after shifts we would always start trying some random blunts, and he's like, "Try this." It's really hard for me to try anything else now because it's just a favorite and it's awesome.
Really smooth bourbon.
Yes. Now I'm slowly doing some other Jeffersons, like the cognac one. I have one in Cabernet bottles at my house. Haven't even cracked a seal yet. But no, this is definitely by far my favorite. They store it in oak barrels and then they put it on a ship. So it just gets that like constant revolving motion. So smooth. Anyone that comes in here, they're like, "What do you recommend?" I'm like, by far. Like, I climb up there so fast and get it for them. And they're like, "You're right." So
How do you like to drink it?
neat. Don't ruin it. No ice cubes. No fruit. No nothing. Double pour.
Set you the right way.
And I can also say that whenever you talk to someone such as yourself, Ari, and you pick an outstanding bourbon like Jefferson's, you clearly have an understanding of your bourbon collection and something that really stands out. And trust me, there's a lot of great bourbons to pick from. But this is one of the most solid out there. So we're
course I
excited.
pour myself
Let's have some of this.
Cheers.
Cheers. That is really, really, really.
Just puts a smile on my face.
So again, we're here at Front Street Social. And what's the address of Front Street Social?
107 Front Street, Berea, Ohio, 44017.
107 Front Street. So as we were saying earlier, we're about a block away from the Baltimore campus, but it's not just a campus bar. As we heard earlier from Ari, our bartender, she told us a little bit about the clientele. She talked to us a little bit about some of the drinks that she makes, and it's far beyond what you think of as a campus bar. It's a downtown Berea bar, live music on the weekends. And now we're going to talk, after we had a chance to taste some great drinks, we're going to talk a little bit with JC. Josh, but JC is...
Yep, I go by JC. My mom calls me Josh. Just when she's mad.
Only when you're in trouble.
Yeah, when she's pissed.
So JC, tell us a little bit about what makes Front Street Social a special place.
Well,
So not even a year anniversary, you said.
thank you. September 17th. Today is July 3rd, so we're almost there. We've grown a lot. When we opened, the joke was, well, we should do this and this and this. And I always said, let's just wait and see what we are. You can kind of dictate what you want to be, but that's not essentially what's going to happen. But this building's 1890. When you walk out my front door, you can look to the right and see one of the best breweries in the area, Cornerstone. You can look to the left and see one of the best family-style bars, corner bars in the area, and that's Mike's Bar and Grill. So what sets me apart is they brew, they do family-style dinner, and I do entertainment. And I try to also do those things, except for the brew part. I try to run my stage Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Monday we're open, but I do something different with our 83-inch TV, and that's a movie night. The other things I try to really set us apart, you know, when I don't have 14 years of longevity in an area, I have to stand out any way I can. So when you walk into Front Street, you're not going to see a bunch of goofy shit on the walls like TGI Fridays. You know, you see clean lines, kind of classier atmosphere, and really good, solid entertainment. And not to mention the bourbon. I try to stand out with the bourbon. I push to have good bourbon. If you want scotch, sorry, this is probably not your spot. There's other places you can go, but bourbon I try to always have. I try to.
This is a more extensive list than most bars in all of the greater Cleveland area. I mean, this isn't, and we were talking about it. It's like we stumbled upon here, came here, and I was amazed by the offerings that you have. So, like, it really is special that you're able to put together this collection.
I think, like, there's always, some things just don't go out of style, right? A 1967 Corvette, black, bourbon. They get finer with age. I mean, we went through that craft beer swing. It's still kind of at the tail end of it, but it's not as big as it was. Bourbon's always been consistent through that. It's always been desired, it's always been sought after, it's always been collected. It's hard to collect beer. You can drink it, you can try it, you can do the Wink and Lizard World Tour. At the end of the day, you don't get to take that cool-ass bottle home, set on a shelf, and share it on a special occasion, you know what I mean? Special occasions go with these kind of bottles. The birth of a kid, a promotion, you know?
So let me ask you this, JC. So we were saying in one of our other episodes that I think the percentage is 17% uptick in spirit purchases in Ohio this past year, 2020, for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
right?
I was going to say, I can give you a pretty big one. Why?
So what are you seeing here at Front Street Social? What's your most popular? What do you have to restock the most?
And bourbon.
In bourbon, I'd probably say the Basil Hayden seems to go really, really well here. That's always been a staple. I mean, you got your lower shelf, you know, your Jacks and those, but shelf up, Jefferson's Ocean's a big one. This is my favorite bottle on the shelf right now. And I've tried everything, and I'll have favorites, and then I'll move on to something else for a while. Amador Double Barrel. It's finished in Chardonnay cask. So there's a weird, really enjoyable like finish on it. It's kind of oddly smooth. Hottest one I got that I like. I have 123 proof Craig up there, but I really like this Widow Jane. If you haven't had that one, check that one. We'll set that one on the side for a try. So, in some of the, this one's really cool. This is Western Reserve. The reason I keep this bottle is one reason. They pulled it too soon. They opened the barrel, poured it out, started separating it way too soon. It was not done. This is not a complete whiskey. This is still, in my book, an ingredient whiskey. You can't buy this. This is barrel 1 of bottle 29. This is interesting. This is a really cool like test of your palate. So if someone's getting really new and they're trying to figure out different like flavors and how ingredients taste, this is what I put them towards. So
typically the way it is, I mean, we've often said that Joe and I talk about this all the time, like, you know, Basil Hayden is an example. It's a great gateway bourbon, right?
Yeah.
It gets you into bourbon. It's really smooth. You can drink it neat. You can drink it on the rocks. You can drink it mixed. It's pretty versatile. Not the best in the world, but it's really, really easy for people who've never had bourbon.
And to be fair, it's funny that you said that it's one of the most popular because, quite honestly, it is the one that if I was ever to introduce someone, is the one I would pick.
Right.
And it is so smooth, it's versatile, but I definitely can say that once you go there, then you build off of it. There's so many options.
we are notorious in this building for getting people into whiskey, because if I hear you're starting to drink Jack or Bullet Rye or Bullet Bourbon, say, hey, you like that? Maybe you should check out the Clover. This is the Angel Envy's Rye, which I haven't seen on a shelf or heard of a distributor getting in my area at all. Hey, boys. Thanks for having me. This is from Ari. And that is a very smooth rye. Rye usually being a little hotter by nature.
The finish on it is so smooth compared to most ryes. Like
We were saying, like, when we had the shot of the Jefferson Ocean, the difference, right?
I hope you didn't shoot it.
Well, I mean, a nice taste,
Yeah.
right? But it's the difference. Obviously, is this is a much hotter, much spicier, right?
Yeah.
Not as smooth, but your point, Joe, smooth as you can get, I think, with a rye.
Yep. Still very peppery, but that back kind of mellows everything out when it's finished. Especially mine because I let the ice dissolve completely on it.
So again, we'd like to thank JC and Ari for their hospitality here at Front Street Social 107 Front Street in downtown Berea. Encourage everyone to come out and meet both of them and engage in this great atmosphere here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, great food, great live entertainment. I think that's one thing that sets them apart. And as we've talked about throughout the entire show, great bourbon selection, outstanding cocktail options beyond bourbon, but at the end of the day, this is a place you got to stop by.
So, JC, one reason to come to Front Street Social.
Ari?
Ari, one reason to come to Front Street Social.
You just to like be nice, but the stage, the live music.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Outstanding.
Well, thank you, everyone, and we again encourage you to come on down.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I had fun.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.